Pebbles! My girl! I thought they killed you down by that pond. Go!
You shouldn't be walking around without a light.
God bless.
Can I spend the night here?
Not a chance. Go back to where you came from, you wastrel. Take care. Good night.
No.
Praise God.
What's the purpose of that pen? I see you're not grazing livestock there.
Indeed we're not, friend. That's where we learn how to fist fight.
Fist fight? How come?
Why do you think? It's a pretty handy thing to know, and it's 100 times better than sitting on your arse all day.
Does the miller know about this?
Crazel? He came up with the idea, mate. Hey, fancy having a go?
Thank you, but I'm not interested.
Got cold feet, eh? Well, if you ever change your mind, go and see the miller. He'll tell you more. He started all this, see? Farewell.
I heard at the Troskovitz Tavern that you might have a job offer.
Well, you don't look lame. I reckon I could find some work for you.
I also heard you're invited to that big wedding coming up.
That's no business of yours at the moment.
All right. So what kind of work do you have for me?
You'll be carrying sacks of flour.
You don't have anything better? I can do other, more useful things.
Well, that's nice and all, but there's only one thing I need from you right now. And that's hauling sacks of flour.
When was the last time you had a scholar in your mill who could read and write? What use is it to raise obstructions when the wind may drive the mill wheel just as water can?
Esse kvam vidiri. Go and haul the sacks.
Do you really have nothing better I could do?
I do, but only for people I know already. And you're not one of them.
All right. It's not like I have much of a choice, do I?
The sacks are in the barn, and the wagon is in front of it. I'll give you a groschen for every half dozen you carry. It may not seem like much, but if you don't dawdle, you might even save up for some nag at the Sameen stables. I heard they got lucky and recently rounded up a bunch of horses from some company that got routed by bandits. They've got some gray old nag that they're practically giving away. You won't have to buy food. We'll take care of that. And you can sleep here, in the barn. But not on the sacks of flour, you understand? Or I'll tan your hide. Climb up to the loft with the others.
Oh, fuck me.
Careful what you wish for. Go on, get to work.
Praise the Lord.
Greetings to you too.
Maybe this one will be lighter. Oh, I'm sweating like a pig. Oh, bit heavy for flour. What the hell is in this thing? Maybe this one will be lighter. Ah, fucking hell. Oh, what a slog. Oh, bit heavy for flour. Oh. Oh, this is no joke. I could barely lift it. Oh, I'm sweating like a pig. Kurwa. What the?
Have you got it done? I said, are you done?
You're milling some pretty peculiar grain here, Miller. It's got a bit of a metallic flavour to it.
Kurwa. Can't you be more careful?
Tell me the truth. What are you really doing here?
Seems I'll have to lift the lid off the cauldron of knowledge sooner than I expected. You think you're ready?
What are you babbling about? What lid?
It was a figure of speech. All right, I'll explain it simply. I'm attempting to convert matter into a truly miraculous energy.
What?
I understand. It seems impossible. I'm sure you're asking yourself what that has to do with the metal in the sacks. But we're only just scratching the surface. You see, for my experiment, I'll need something sinfully earthy. Something we'll have to appropriate. And that's something you can help me with, my curious apprentice.
So thievery. Just like Peshek in Ratai. I should have known.
Thievery? What a crude way of putting it.
But a truthful one.
Those things aren't mutually exclusive.
Ah, that smells fishy to me. I'd rather make an honest living.
Honest living, eh? You're doing your own pocket a disservice, lad. You'll be back here, sooner or later.
Quick! Go!
Don't think I can't see you.
So, job done. The cart was found and driven to Lord Semin's courtyard.
Whew. That's a relief. And what happened to that pair of idiots?
It turned out they tried to rob you.
Oh. They did they?
Aye. They plotted with some robber baron called Gules and brought the cart to him.
The bastards. I should have realized they were a bit too keen on work. And how did you get the cart back?
Well, I went to ask at Semin, like you wanted. Lord Semin and his captain went off to track down the cart, and they found it in the end.
I hope you offered your help.
Of course. It wouldn't have looked good otherwise.
For sure. But what about them pair?
Venser didn't survive the skirmish in Gules' camp, and Franzi, they took him to Semin. He might have been innocent in the whole thing.
I wouldn't be too sure about that. They were only here a while, but that pair was as thick as, well, thieves. And that Franzi could talk his way out from under the executioner's axe.
We'll see. Either way, it's Lord Semin's concern now.
Anyway, the main thing is the cart turned up. I'd be in a right mess if it didn't.
No doubt.
And you've earned a reward for your trouble. I've got just the thing for you. Some mercenary once had his cuirass repaired here, but never came back for it. Who knows what happened to him? So now it's yours. It's been through a bit, but it'll still serve for a while.
Thanks. It'll come in handy. And have you got another job for me?
Young Lord Semin's wedding is coming up, and it's got my head spinning. Look, you must have seen Agnes, the bailiff's daughter, when you were in Truskovitz. What do you think of her?
I haven't seen Agnes. Is she pretty?
Pretty doesn't do her justice. She's a beauty. But she's got such a sharp tongue on her that I don't envy older at all. And how about you, lad? Have you got some lass waiting in Sasau?
What does all this have to do with smithing, Radovan?
What? Can't I chat about women with my apprentice? Ah, you're right, though. Let's get down to business. Old Semin wants a special sword forged for his son's wedding present.
Excellent. So what are we waiting for? Should we get to work?
Hold your horses. It can't be any old steel. This has to be a first-class job.
A blade of first-class steel.
That's right. And that's just the problem.
Ah, I see. We don't have any welded steel for that kind of sword, do we?
God's nails. You really know your stuff, youngster. And you're right. We don't have the steel for a strong sword that won't break.
I'd like to know where you're going to get your hands on some welded steel.
Relax, lad. I've got it all figured out, as it happens. There's this old hermit called Ambrose, living in Apollonia.
And he can pray for us?
God's nails, let me finish talking. The word is, he was fighting heathens years ago in faraway Andalusia, and folks say they saw this interesting broken sword in his hut. From the description, it seems our peculiar hermit has a real Toledo blade.
Welded Spanish steel? There's nothing better for a sword.
See now? You do understand. But there's a catch.
Naturally.
They say that Ambrose the Hermit has changed a lot recently. People from far and wide used to go to him for remedies and blessings. But now he won't see no one. I even heard he made a pact with the devil. And there have been other strange goings-on.
What strange goings-on?
I heard something in the tavern about some apparition. But that's all I know.
Where can I find the hermit?
Do I look like someone who goes to a hermit for advice? I know he has a hut somewhere in Apollonia. But you'll have to ask the Truscovitz womenfolk if you want to know more.
Right. I'll try to find out more about the hermit's sword. But in return, you'll get me invited to Samin's wedding.
If it means so much to you, why not? Come and see Betty from the Truscovitz Tavern. She knows all the gossip. She'll definitely tell you more about the hermit. But Henry, if there's any truth in that pact with the devil, don't get caught up in it. The best sword in the world isn't worth eternal damnation.
Good day.
Good day.
I hate humans, bastards.
Someone should kick their
A mi go tak leszunk.
God be with you.
There's something else I need to know about this hermit.
Ask then if you must.
What do you know about this apparition?
Stanislav, the herds boy. He comes running into the village that night, all terrified, saying he'd seen a rider from hell in Apollonia. And the very next night, it appeared in the rocks below the road to Tahov. There's this conciliatory stone cross there. And the next day, it was at a funny angle. There's some devilry in it for sure.
Where can I find the herds boy?
Stanislav has a sheep pen in the meadow beyond the Truscovitz graveyard, right above the big crossroads outside Apollonia.
How do I get to the hermit?
You're asking for trouble, lad. But all right, if you insist, you go through Apollonia, along the path below the rocks, till you reach the point where it crosses the stream. And from there, you take the path uphill to the left, leading into the rocks.
And it was the herds boy who saw it by the cross, or someone else?
The apothecary's wife, Gerda. Ask her yourself. She's not been herself ever since, poor woman.
Who's this hermit fella, anyway?
No one knows. He settled in the rocks a few years back. Folk used to go to him for various healing ointments or advice.
And what has he got to do with this apparition?
Well, he was at death's door recently, bedridden, and then suddenly he's got his health back. Just like that. And he's like a different man since then. He sends everyone who goes to see him packing. Mark my words. He sold his soul to the devil to get better. And the devil sometimes comes here on the prowl for unwary souls.
Where did these peculiar monks come from?
Hard to say, but they rode in on well-fed horses.
Monks on horseback? That's definitely odd.
Well, Bashka the Butcher says they came from the bishop about that diabolical apparition. In short, the Inquisition.
And what can I get for you?
Someone should kick their asses. Really clip those fuckers' wings.
Ave Maria. What is it, you scoundrel?
I mean, you got that leszunk.
I need to know more about that strange apparition.
God save us. Don't bother me with that. I'll be with you.
Look out!
What can I do for you?
I hear that some apparition was seen around here. Is it true?
Go to hell with that. Thank you. And a good day to you, friend. Hail. What will it be?
I'd like to do something about that price.
Well, of course.
That's a decent price.
Thank you, and take care.
What do you want, you vagabond?
I heard a shepherd saw an apparition in the rocks.
It's not wise to go there. There's a diabolical horseman haunting the place.
What do you know about the apparition at the cross?
It's all God's holy truth. Gerda from the apothecaries saw the devil there. Farewell.
Lord be with you.
I'd like to ask you about something.
No, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Go away, please.
How about a couple of groschen for a couple of questions?
What was it you wanted to know?
Relax, Gerda. Have a think, and then tell me what happened with the apparition.
It was the day before yesterday. I was picking marshmallow roots above the rocks. It grows by the cross there, near the big dry tree not far from the road to Tachov. I didn't get home till after dark when I suddenly realized I didn't have my knife.
So you went back to the cross?
God have mercy. He hopped up right out of the ground in front of me. He was all in black and he was grinding his teeth. I started to scream. There was something glinting in the dark and this clanking sound, and I just turned and scarpered.
That's all?
At one point I turned around and I saw a dark shadow darting across the field. Proper flying along it was, like the devil, and heading straight to Apollonia.
What's this place where you saw the apparition?
It's a conciliatory cross, erected in the memory of some innocent's death. They say some years ago, a young fellow killed himself on account of an unhappy love affair. He jumped from a cliff.
And the day after you saw the apparition, the cross was at an angle?
Aye, all askew. Everyone here saw it. I didn't go back. I can't.
Don't worry, Gerda. Nobody's going to make fun of you anymore. I'll find out what it was all about and what you really saw there.
What do you think happened?
I don't know yet, but you needn't fear. Everything will get cleared up soon.
Thank you. By all the saints, thank you. But please, come and tell me how it turned out. I'll make it worth your while.
Gerda really did see something. That cross hides a secret.
And with you? God bless you.
Let's talk about the price.
Gut, dann mal los.
All right, I agree.
Thank you, and take care.
Fresh soil. Someone was digging here recently. It doesn't look like an apparition, Gerda. He didn't take either the coin or the books. So it wasn't a thief. It must be something else he was after.
Greetings. What do you want?
I hear you saw some diabolical apparition. Is that true?
Was it the bailiff who sent you? Or old Croper?
No. I want to go to Apollonia to see Ambrose, the hermit. I've heard talk he's somehow linked to that apparition. So I need to know what you saw that night.
Why do you want to know? Forget that shit, pal. It reeks of fire and brimstone.
Look, mate, I'll gladly give you a few groschen, but spit it out now. Here you are.
What did you want to know?
What exactly did you see that night at the crossroads?
A diabolical apparition. A black rider on a black horse flew into Apollonia. His eyes glowed, and his horse was black as charcoal. He turned this way and that a couple of times at the crossroads, and then darted off into the rocks. To the hermit's place, I'm sure.
He turned this way and that? That's strange. Would the devil not know the way?
I'm telling the truth. Gerda from the apothecary saw him too.
But the hermit helps people though, doesn't he?
Aye, he did. Only now they're saying he was at death's door and sold his soul to the devil. And that was the horseman. See you soon, my friend.
That herdsboy really did see something. And the trail leads into the rocks. A horse? What's it doing here in the woods? I should take a closer look. A beautiful horse. Black as charcoal. The herdsboy wasn't lying. And you don't smell of brimstone. You're just an ordinary horse. Someone really did come to see the hermit. But it wasn't the devil. This is the place the innkeeper was talking about. The hermit lives somewhere up here. God be with you, hermit.
I don't have time for you. Go away.
Folk in the village are saying you've made a miraculous recovery. And since then, you won't let anyone near you. What happened?
Nothing happened. I just can't stand all these people coming here and disturbing me. Can't I have a moment's peace?
I came about that sword of yours. I'd like to buy it from you.
I'll keep my sword, thanks very much. It's a fine piece.
Right. Long since broken and unused. I wouldn't hum and haw too long if I were you. Radovan the blacksmith will give you a good price for it.
Oh, right. You mean that sword? I don't have it anymore.
Folk are saying some monks turned up in the village and were asking about you. The Inquisition, apparently.
And what's it got to do with me?
Well, the Inquisition would definitely be interested to hear about your pact with the devil. Maybe I went too far. My apologies, hermit. All I was after was the sword.
Oh, God. If I give you that piece of old junk, will you leave me alone?
I can promise you that. What are you asking for it?
Nothing. Just a small service. Listen carefully, then. There's an old widow called Margaret living in the village. Take this cross to her, and say to her exactly these words. Margaret, Ambrose forgives you, but his brother must get what is rightfully his.
Margaret, Ambrose forgives you, but his brother must get what is rightfully his.
That's right.
I hope she'll know what this is about.
Don't worry, she will. Give her the cross, and I'll tell you where you can find the sword. Benedictio Domini sit tecum.
Good day. What would you like?
This might seem strange, but I'm supposed to give you this.
A cross? Mother of God. What is the meaning of this?
Margaret, Ambrose forgives you, but his brother must get what he deserves.
Ambrose? The hermit?
It was his wish that I give you the cross and the message. He said you'd know what it's about.
Oh my God! By all that's holy, it couldn't possibly be him. All those years, I'd lost hope. I never forgave myself. I committed a mortal sin.
Well, I don't know what you did. But this is supposed to be your absolution.
No, there's no absolution. Not yet. You said it yourself. Not until Ambrose's brother gets what he deserves. The bones. They still lie there outside the wall. Help me. His soul must find peace.
All right. I'll help you. But you'll have to tell me more.
Thank you, lad. Thank you. I'll tell you everything. It's a curse. I've never told anyone about it. And it's a good thing you caught me here. At the graveyard.
What does the graveyard have to do with absolution?
Hold on. Not so fast. I'll tell you everything. First, tell me... Are you afraid of the dead?
It's the living I'm more afraid of than the dead.
One should fear the dead. But in the end, it's probably a good thing that you have no fear. You see, one poor soul is waiting for redemption. For years and years.
Ah, I get it now. Ambrose's brother has to get what he deserves. This is about the soul of Ambrose's brother.
His name was Yun. He lies outside the graveyard wall, buried without rites. He's been there for 30 years.
What happened to him?
The memories are painful. We were childhood friends, and Jan loved me. Only, I chose his friend Vashek over him. He couldn't get over the rejection. So he lay in wait for Vashek one evening.
And Vashek killed him?
It was an accident. They quarrelled. Jan drew his sword first, and Vashek had to defend himself. Apparently, they got close to the cliff edge while they were fighting, and Jan fell. When they found his body at the bottom of the cliff, people thought he'd killed himself. The only one who didn't believe it was Jan's brother.
Ah, the conciliatory cross where they saw the apparition. That's to commemorate Jan.
His brother Ambrose had it built there. And those diabolical apparitions. It's my fault for saying nothing. God is punishing me for my sins.
Nonsense. God wouldn't use a diabolical apparition to scare you, would he? And what's more, Ambrose forgave you, didn't he?
Only on the condition that Jan's bones will be laid to rest in consecrated ground. Help me lay him to rest in a proper grave, please.
But without telling the priest and gravedigger. Isn't that sacrilege?
That's the only way we can put right a terrible mistake. Jan didn't kill himself.
All right. We'll give him a proper burial. Jan's soul has the right to eternal rest.
Thank you. The Lord will pay you back 100-fold. There's a rose bush outside the graveyard wall. You'll find his bones beneath it. Please bury him beside my Vashek. Here, beneath the pine tree. In that way they'll be reconciled, at least in death. Then place Ambrose's cross on his grave to bless their reconciliation. Take care, my friend. The angel of the Lord declared unto Mary, and she conceived of the Holy Spirit. Hail Mary. And Mary said, Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Be it done unto me according to thy word. Hail Mary. And the word was made flesh.
Your journey ends here, Jan. I don't know what you have on your conscience. But rest in peace. I don't know much about prayer in these situations, but... Our Father, there are many sinners in this world, but in the end, we all face your judgment for what we should have done, but lacked the courage to do. So forgive me this little sacrilege. You know better than anyone that it was the right thing to do. Thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven, and deliver us from evil. Amen. Ambrose's brother Jan got what he deserved, just as the hermit wanted.
I saw that. May his soul find peace at last.
And yours too, Margaret.
30 years. I thought about it every day.
It's all right now. You did the right thing. Everything else is beyond the law of man.
I'd like to reward you somehow.
I expect you wouldn't want anyone to hear about all this, right?
Well, if you... Will you keep it to yourself?
All right. I'll accept the coin, and that'll be the end of it.
Thank you again for your help. God be with you, Henry. It was good to see you, my friend.
Hey, fella! Listen!
What happened?
If you're going to see the hermit, be warned. The man in the hut is just pretending to be the hermit. His name is Conrad, and he's a fraud and a murderer. The Inquisition paid him to murder our Grandmaster Zdeněk in Prague. Fortunately, God did not let him carry out the crime. But 2 of our brothers were killed by Conrad when they tried to detain him.
And I see a third one will soon join them.
He was just about to flee from here as well. We took him by surprise, but he had time to grab that damned crossbow and shoot Klesgin. By the Virgin Mary, help us. We have to catch him.
You're a knight of an order?
Yes. I am Brother Arnold, a knight of the cross with the red star. And these are brothers Sibald and Nicholas. You are too late to make the acquaintance of Brother Klesgin, I'm afraid. We take care of the sick in infirmaries throughout the land. But we can't help our brother. You have to help us, while there's still time.
Why should I get mixed up in it?
I'll pay you. We just need to distract Conrad's attention, that's all. Otherwise, we won't have a chance against his crossbow in that gorge.
Did Conrad really want to flee?
Yes. We stopped him at the last moment. He almost got away. But we surrounded him.
That swine tried to deceive me. He mustn't get away.
God, thank you. Try to get close unseen and set fire to the haystack on the right-hand side of the yard. Then his crossbow will be useless. But do it quickly, before he gets away.
Don't fall asleep. Look at me.
Hey, stop right there. Halt, or I'll shoot.
Wait! Hermit, what are you doing?
Don't move a muscle, I mean it.
I talked to the widow, Margaret. I did what you wanted.
I'm afraid the circumstances have changed.
I just want the sword. That's all I care about.
I don't want to kill you. Go away.
I can help you. Let's talk.
All right. But make it quick. And no sudden movements. Agnosco fortunam Cartaginus.
What do you want?
You wanted to run off and break our agreement.
And what is it you want to hear from me?
Where can I find that broken sword?
It's not far. At the edge of the meadow up there are 2 entangled birch trees. There's a grave beneath them, and the sword is on the grave.
Why do they want to kill you?
Why? They want to silence me. I had proof of our Grandmaster's Denyek's treachery. But they are blind. They refuse to believe me.
What about the murders? Did you really kill 2 brothers of the Order?
I had to defend myself. I'd be dead if I hadn't killed them.
Why did you come to the Hermit?
Ambrose was the only one who could stand up to our Grandmaster's Denyek and put an end to his crimes. He was the seneschal of our order. Now it's all over, and I will remain an outcast till I die.
That's all I need to know.
There's no time to go into it. Sorry, young man. You got mixed up in a game of high stakes, and there's no way back.
In that case, we'll play that game out together. Just let them come.
Thank you, friend. Benedictio Domini sit tecum.
Oh no! Do you hear me?
You haven't it!
You swine! You'll pay for that!
Your ass off.
Oh!
Hard!
You die for that, you bastard!
Come on, man!
I did!
I'll beat you to a bloody pulp, fucker!
Fucking hell.
You should have...
You'll regret that!
You never saw that coming!
It's a slaughter! Any last words before I finish you off?
I'll sort you out
bastard.
nicely! You're dead!
I need a bandage, quick! There. That's better.
Damn it, Hermit. What was that all about?
Things aren't what you think. I owe you an explanation.
Yeah, you're right. Let's hear it then.
And what is it you want to hear from me?
What were you looking for under the conciliatory cross?
That broken sword, of course. Old Ambrose buried it there years ago, along with all his past. I heard he originally kept the sword here before deciding to stash it there. He was attached to it from his soldiering years. He sent me to fetch it before he died. He wanted to hold it in his hands one last time. But he didn't live long enough.
Why were they trying to kill you?
I had proof that our Grand Master's Denyak had betrayed the Order and was conspiring with the Prague chapter. But it was turned against me. Damned Inquisition. First they chased out Ambrose, and now me.
That's all I need to know.
And that's an end to it. This is in return for your silence.
Thank you. I won't say a word. Don't worry.
Farewell, friend. Go with God. Benedictio Domini sit tecum. There's that lunatic!
Who's there? If you value your life, turn around and get it. Hey! Everyone get over here! Now get up! Get out.
Where's the hermit's grave? It ought to be somewhere around here. Now that's what I call steel. It may be broken, but there's hardly a trace of rust.
God bless.
So I'm back, Master Blacksmith.
Excellent. How did it go with the hermit?
He's dead.
What? Did you?
No, not me. It just got a bit complicated. Anyway, it turns out old Ambrose really used to be a knight. And this really is Toledo steel. You were right, Blacksmith.
God's nails. That's quite something.
First class welded steel. Ambrose must have broken the sword himself, deliberately. It wouldn't have just happened in battle.
That's exactly what we need. See now, youngster. My clever plan worked out nicely in the end.
Right. Well, thank you very much for your, clever plan.
You haven't disappointed me yet, lad. So I'm sure forging an exceptional sword won't be a problem for you either.
Wait, I thought you wanted to do it yourself. I'm just your assistant, after all.
Not at all. I trust you. One day you'll become a master. That is, unless you lose your head first.